Hey guys, was experiencing some technical difficulty, which means there was some technical stuff and I was trying to use it, which is difficult for me. Um, but I think we're good to go now. For some reason, I pressed the button and hey Wilson, hey Selma, and Marlon, how are you? Just give me a quick second. What's up, Marlon? Want to look up a story? Maybe we'll do some reading today. You guys know I like to read stuff. Um, you know, poems, prayers. Reminds me of a John Denver song, Poems, Prayers, and Promises. Hey Lee. Who else we got here? Hey, Ellie, how are you? I saw you over at Sal's. I wanted to stop in and say hi to Sal. I was getting ready to go live. I don't like saying anything, about going live when I'm on someone else's live stream, uh, because you know it's their life. But welcome. What else do we got going on here? Wilson, how are you? Hey, Kat, how are you, my friend? Um, Kat is going to be with me this evening. We're going to be hanging out. It has me smiling already. Just knowing I'm going to be hanging out with Kat. So listening. Thank you, Sniper. What's it says? So, fam, my bros and sisters, how is everyone? Marlon says, I did sleep good, close to 6 hours. That's not a bad amount. Ellie says, I'm going back to sales. Sales live. Bye. Thanks for dropping in. It's much appreciated. Almost double I got in the last few days. So that's good. That is good. Who is live? Chill Sal is live. Hey, Evan. Evan says, hey, man, you ever feel like you're in virtual reality world doing things on YouTube? No. Well, depends on how you look at it. In a sense, all of us are in uh, a type of virtual reality world. All of us are sort of in an illusory world based upon our projections. What do you want to do to change it, Evan? He says, okay, I'm okay, Vebs, thank you. Still awaiting your examination results. Marlon says, Cat. And says hi to Evan. Hey, Princess. Legendary Princess is here. Says, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope you have a wonderful day too. Cat, you were going to leave me for Big Al? Is it because of the tomato? I promise. I promise you that I'll say tomato 6 more times during this conversation before I end the live stream, if that's what it takes to keep you with me. Man, being left for Big Al. Did you hear the sound of that? This is the sound of my heart breaking, like just a little bit. Pip says, nope, not any more subs, but I'm okay. See, did you get your exam results? Princess says, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. I hope you do too. Detective says, assault's an decision to the. Um, I would say if that's the wrong color paint for your house, don't use it. Wilson says, I just had someone on my mind, that's all. Just have someone on my mind. Evan says, if the energy turned off, you cannot connect to these people. Oh, I don't know about that. Depends on what you mean by connection. Evening to you. I appreciate the like. Thank you so much. Kat says, you're very funny. I have, I have my moments. I'm told quite a bit that I am never as funny as I think I am, which is okay, as long as I think I'm funny. Simpa says, what's in a margarita pizza, Eric? It's a good question. I don't actually know. You want me to look it up since you're driving? Wilson says, my father once said, life's too short to hold grudges anyway. Hey, I agree with that. By the way, I know for sure one thing that is on a margarita pizza is tomatoes, or maybe it's just tomato sauce. That's two. That's two. I got 4 more to go. Don't let me forget, guys. Evan says, me interacting with you. Um, it's a wide, big world, Evan. You know, I'm not pressed about things that aren't happening too much. You know, if the power went out, if I couldn't connect with people, I would do something else. My entire life, I've done what I was doing until I couldn't do it anymore, and then I did something else. All right, so we're gonna look up. I'm gonna dive back in the chat in a second, but we're gonna look up margarita pizza. What's a margarita pizza? It's a classic Neapolitan. I know I pronounced that wrong. Neapolitan pizza, known for its simplicity and delicious flavor. It's made with a thin, crispy crust topped with fresh tomato. 3. Sauce, creamy mozzarella cheese, and fresh basil. The toppings represent the colors of the Italian flag. You did not know that. Red tomato. That's 4. More to go. White cheese and green basil. Key characteristics of a margherita pizza: thin and crispy crust. The crust is typically thin and baked to achieve a crispy texture. Sounds good. Fresh tomato sauce. That's 5. 1 more to go. The sauce is made with fresh tomatoes. I did it. I met my tomato. 7. Quotation. Quotation. That's not the word I'm looking for. Often using San Marzano. San Marzano tomatoes. It's 8. I'm actually 2 over the quota. That was the word I was looking for. Fresh mozzarella cheese, fresh basil, simple and elegant. And it actually, I'm looking at a photo. It really does look simple and excellent. I can't say I've ever had one though. Any other food? Any other food questions? I'm happy to answer. Kat says, I'm out of food and starting to get hungry. I have some flour, a can of blueberry, filling makeshift pancakes on the way. Nice. I found out. P.S. I'm only out of food because I hate going to the grocery store. It's been a while since I've been to the grocery store. Um, hey Lee, Magnetic North says had a squirrel and had a cat. Easy Home Cooking is here. How are you, my friend? Bud Files is here. Hey, Bud Files. Wilson says I'm getting nuts is why my B day is on Tuesday. Hey, Toy Pups. Handmade and Homegrown says good afternoon, Yogi, and everyone. Good afternoon to you. Hey, makeshift pancakes. Very clever, cat. You're like the MacGyver of pancakes. It's the highest compliment I could pay someone. He says smooth margarita. Evan says, you think living in a basement apartment, setting up a dinner table with a Bluetooth speaker outside your door with Bluetooth speakers and beers would be overdoing it? For me, no. I don't think there's any such thing as overdoing anything. Evan, do what makes you happy. You deserve it. If it harms no one, do what makes you happy. Kat is laughing. She's laughing because I've said tomato 9 times now. I know. I don't say it the way Big Al says it. Part's still a little broken. Going to old. Okay, not old. You're not old. You haven't even gone to college yet. But I'm going to be an adult. I'm turning 18 on June 17th. Congratulations. Welcome to the club. I think I was about 37 when when I became an adult. Handmade a Homegrown says hi to Toy Pups. Lee says hi to Evan. Guess says I'll never think about leaving you again, Yogi. I knew the tomato would win you over. Hey, Color My World, how are you? Adam's here. Adam, how are you? Emma says, yeah, thanks, man. It says, hey, guys. Hey, Evan, you've been coming for a while. I always like your questions, all of them, every single one of them. And you've been, hey, just showing up and being a friend and being a supporter means a lot to me. And I mean it sincerely when I say you deserve to be happy. You've been through, you've been through a bit. You know, you've shared some of your story with me, and now's your time. You made a brave move that wasn't easy for you. So right now, concentrate on the life of Evan and the person that you're with, your partner. Hey, Lady Sky. Lady Sky said hi. Appreciate that. Kat says I'm channeling that lifetime where I am a scavenger, scavenging for pancakes. Kat says being an adult is way overrated. Agreed. Agreed. Why did we look so much forward to it? There was I think it was from Calvin and Hobbes. A really sad thought. There was a time, and none of us remember the exact moment, the exact day, when all of our childhood friends, neighborhood friends, wherever we were, all of us together, hung out for the very last time, and we never realized it was the very last time. I grew up, I had a very tight knit little neighborhood just on my street. Um, and that occurs to me every so often. There was a time we all hung out. You know, summertime, we all swam every day. We went down to the pond, we would fish, we would play football and baseball and soccer, kick the can. This is before the days of video games, except for Pong. And nobody wanted to spend hours playing Pong. Let's see. Lady says, do you like Neste Crunch candy bars? I used to. Here's the thing. They make vegan candy bars nowadays. Someone used to order them for me on occasion. We take them to races with us. I do. I do like them. My favorite though, probably peanut butter cups or Snicker bars. Uh, Evan says, "Well, thanks, Eric. That's much respect. You're awesome, bro." Well, thank you, Evan. Like I said, you've been a good friend. I appreciate that. Lady Sky says, "Cool, Eric." Hey, Lady Sky, what's your favorite? Kat says, "I think it's the authority problem." Yeah, I could see that. I still have an authority problem, but now the problem is me having to be authority on anything. Oh wow, I remember York peppermint patties. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take that back. Ladies Cat says mine is York peppermint patties candy. That is a good candy. Um, the malted balls, they had a name. I don't remember what they were. Do you remember those? Came in like a milk carton. Malted milk balls, or something like that. Whoppers. Thank you. Milk duds. Nope, it's the Whoppers. Milk duds were a little too chewy. Yep, there you go. Adam says, never mind. Malted milk balls. Yep, Whoppers. Those are awesome candy. Wilson says, "Oh, my girlfriend pulled something funny for lunch, so I ate asparagus. But she made an asparagus pizza and said lunch is ready. But there is butter chicken pizza for you, babe. Do you not like asparagus?" Let's decide. Adam. Hey, signature. Signature says greetings, my friend, and thumbs up. I appreciate that, signature. Signature, how are you? Um, our friend signature, one of the warmest people on YouTube, one of the friendliest, with an absolutely beautiful channel. If you go visit any one of his videos, or if you happily catch a live stream or premiere, um, you're going to be greeted like a lifelong friend. You also get to see it's a he'll take you on a tour. He'll show you the sights. Remember the first time coming in on I think it was a premiere, and it was an experience. I absolutely loved it, and I still do. Jason says, "So you're my brother." Hey, Jason. Jason, how are you? Jason, how you feeling, my friend? Ladies guy says, "Not a fan of Whoppers, Eric McCarty. They taste dry to me." Guess that's understandable. I gotta agree with you that peppermint patties are really good, refreshing. Hey, Kat, do you have a favorite candy? What about anyone in the chat? What's your favorite candy? Signature says, "Thanks for your support and stay blessed." You too, Signature. Jason's doing great. Says, streaming or steaming? If you're streaming dumplings, I'll come over and watch. I'll put it up on my desktop. He says, "Eat too much candy." Have you made any strides in working on your diet? Uh, Kat says, "I stayed loyal to Little Debbie even after all you've been through." I can appreciate loyalty. Steaming dumplings. Gotcha. I actually can't recall if I've ever had a dumpling before. Lady Sky says hi to Lee. North says hi to Jason. We got some love from Signature. Thank you, Signature. Pork dumplings. Jason says, "Good to see everyone." It was nice seeing you live this morning, Jason. It was nice seeing you. It was nice seeing your wife. Our friend Jason is officially in 800 subscribers, guys. 801. End of June. And it's well deserved. Jason, I met Jason on a morning live stream. Um, and he didn't yet have 50 subs. And it wasn't that long ago. And he just started putting out really creative, funny content. And his channel has grown and grown and grown. He's got loyal people who show up on his live streams. Says, thanks, brother. You're welcome. Jason says, now making lobster bites. Well, watch your fingers. Uh, that cracked me up at least. Watch your fingers. Lobster bites. You get it? Lobster bites. Sorry, guys. Jason says yes. Now 801. My brother Yogi. That's awesome. Latest guy says she's doing all right. Adam says 802 now. Jason, awesome. Adam, thank you. Hey, speaking of awesome content, and I was our friend Adam. I love what you do. Your video, Jesus, the other story, the other stories. Honestly, I thought it was genius. You were insightful, you were warm, and you were humorous. Lee's laughing. I'm glad someone got it. He says, listening, but here. Thank you, Lee. Jason said, subbed you back. Tropical Road. Hey, my friend, how are you? It's nice to see you. Jason says, thanks, friend. So we'll get you to 1K. Hey, Jason, how are your watch hours doing? Jason says, love you, brother Eric, you're the best. Hey, Gladiator. You're welcome, Adam. I'd like to see just a request, and of course, totally ignore it. I'd love to hear you talk a bit about Course in Miracles. If you ever have a mind to. Speaking of Course in Miracles, we'll be talking about it tonight. Kat and I want people to consider who might want to stop by is you don't actually have to have questions about A Course in Miracles. You might have questions about something that's concerning you and want a perspective from the teachings of A Course in Miracles. So maybe something's occurring in your life and you want to see it a little differently. So maybe it would be helpful that we could help reframe it. Maybe we can't. But just a thought. You might have a life issue. We might have experienced something that we've been through where the course has proven helpful. So I'm looking at myself on my desktop as well as my phone. And on my desktop, I look kind of fuzzy. Am I fuzzy to you guys? I mean, like, not my normal fuzziness, but like a technical type of fuzziness. Corner Boy said, did 14K steps today. Nice job. Should be what, about 8 miles, Runner Boy? Adam says, oh, well, where to begin? I'm going to paraphrase Lewis Carroll. Alice in Wonderland. Begin at the beginning. Always begin at the beginning. What drew you to the Course in Miracles? It's a commitment to do 365 lessons in the workbook. So, what was going on for you where you thought, I'm willing to invest 365 days to see what I can get out of this? I know, um, I know people who have. Wonderboy says a little grainy today. Yeah, I wonder what's up with that. I wonder how I can ungrain myself. Jason says, appreciate everyone here. Gladiator says, thanks, Lee. You too. Jason says, lobster bites rolled in a pancake crumbs dipped in lemon tartar sauce. Hey, that sounds pretty creative, Jason. Gadu said, I just came back from a 2-hour walk. Excuse me, guys. Nice. I had um, about an hour walk this morning, and then later in the morning, I had about a 45-minute walk. He says, Gladiator always makes you feel so much better. A good walk. True. Very true. Now says, I'm on day 9 with you. It's awesome. I jumped back from day 170. I hope I can make that worthwhile for you, Adam, because that's a big jump. It's a bit of a sacrifice. I appreciate that. And again, I hope I can offer a little bit of perspective from journeying through it for a long time. I mentioned before, it took me a long time to finally go through the workbook. I would pick it up, go through it. I would get the beginning. I'd only get a few lessons in, and for whatever reason, put it aside. I'll get back to later. Of course, we know what the reason is. Hey, William, the reason's always the ego. The last thing the ego ever wants is to be diminished in its sense of power, diminished in its sense of importance, um, and to have its demands unattended to for even a moment. And that's what the Course does. Of course, that's what yoga does too, but we don't realize it with yoga. Unfortunately, for yoga, because it has been so westernized, even in the East now, it's been westernized, that it is associated with spirituality second, or a life path second, and exercise well being first. Remember, yoga means yoke, to join together. And, the essence of yoga can be found in the salutation namaste. When we look at someone and we say that the holiness, the light, the divinity within me recognizes and salutes the same within you, that's the path of yoga. It's coming to the realization of our own holiness. Gadu says, what time is it for you? It's 9 p.m. here. It is about 1:30 for me. Hey, Corner Clubhouse. How are you? William, how are you? Did you head? What's going on? Did you head to the monastery? Adam says, I love the lesson. Forgive yourself for doing this poorly. I was thinking today, the simplicity of A Course in Miracles and why I fell in love with it. You don't need any other practice. I mean, I love yoga, I love meditation, I love breath work. I'll do those forever. But as far as like chasing after anything, as far as being a seeker, Let it all go. Practice forgiveness and that which precedes forgiveness, meaning kindness. Wonderboy says, so 3,820 today, Yogi. I've had you up a bit today. We're closing the deal. And you got 5 days being held. That it says, well, I'm literally in the future. How is it there? Hey, do we have those hover cars yet that they've been promising us since the age of the Jetsons? Let us know. How is the future? North says, had a corner. Running boy says, so only 180 to go. Yep. Really less than 180, but let's not take anything for granted. Adam says, when I started, I was very skeptical because a lot of channels seem goofy to me. No names. So you say a lot of channeling, and we won't mention to the ones that seem goofy, but are there ones um, that don't? Are there ones that you enjoy? And of course, Helen insisted it wasn't channeled material, that um, she didn't go into a trance. She could stop anytime and start again right where it left off. She didn't talk in a funny voice. Why? Wonder why I'm so grainy. Yeah, Elon Musk is fine over my house with one of those. I hope he's doing better. I hope he's doing better in the future. He's had a rough few weeks. Adam says, or I'm sorry, Lee says, Adam, I was going to do stuff, uh, but I have nothing interesting to say, and I deleted instantly. I think you're pretty interestingly. You're another one. You always have awesome, insightful questions. I've had some amazing, intelligent conversations with you. Kat says, I'm a goofy one. It's in my description. It is in your description. It's right up front. Hey, Kat, have you personally ever done any channeling? Wonderboy says, there seems to be a lot of lag this week on streams. Last night, any stream I was in kept lagging. I wonder what's up with that. It says, Trump should deport him to Iran. You never know. Adam says, I think we all channel, but when you identify with the channeling, what is that about? Well, do you think we all channel an entity, or do we just channel inspiration? Do we channel the universe? It's an interesting way of looking at it. Adam says, now I'm curiously. He says, Yogi, I take my hat off the channels to be consistent every day, and to the and to can't make out that one word. To consider your audience and interact, not as easy as it looks. Um, yeah, just hanging out with friends. You know, I guess I decided a long time ago when I started doing this not to make it a thing. That's why I like the title just a yogi. I'm not here to do anything but hang out with friends. And if a friend can feel a little bit better from the time that we spent together, that's a awesome bonus. Kat says yes. You ever want to talk about that on a live stream sometime? Hamada says, "Hey Hamada, how are you?" Get a nice wave, and she says, "Nice." Hey Joe. Joe says, "Master Yogi." Joe, how are you? Running Boy says, "The channel the Great Crab." Is the Great Crab still disappointed on his loss to the turtle? It's been a while since you provided some crab wisdom, Running Boy. Half Empty says, "Good day, y'all." You too, my friend. Thanks for hanging out with us. He says, "Yogi, I feel like my mind is like a set of scales, an ounce of perception outweighing a pound of obscure. Uh, I'd recommend meditation can help with this. It can. Hey, there's nothing the matter with obscure, though. Probably my entire life is based upon obscure information that no one really wants to know. And yet I present it to you anyway, every day, 3 times a day. Joe just got his feet bumps in. Awesome. How's everything feeling? It seems you might be back. Seems like you might be back 100%, Joe. Running says the battle was won, but the war is to come. No, I think you got it reversed. The turtle was a clear favorite. I felt for you, Running Boy. I knew you were heartbroken, crestfallen. He says, Adam, I admire the confidence in just being yourself. Kat says, by the way, when I chanted Rama during mowing, I experienced just a moment of being aware, but not feeling my body, not hearing the mower, not feeling the vibration, nothing. Disappearance of the self. I broke the spell as soon as I was aware of that state. Um, involuntarily broke it, or did you break it because you were in that state? Adam says, whenever someone's channeling, I have to ask myself, what are they selling? Perhaps I'm too fond of correction. Maybe I like my perception shifted constantly. Well, there were some. I'm going to name Seth as one who really didn't seem to be selling anything. Remember, Seth was way before the age of any type of really marketing, and it was quiet information. Not everyone, Seth was pretty pretty popular in the 70s and 80s. There's a few that I read. I read Lazarus because it was recommended by Ram Dass back in the 80s, early 90s. Hey, vlogs. Cryon, a friend recommended it. Not bad. Ramentha, I never got into. Richard Bach thought that Jonathan Livingston Seagull was channeled. He was walking on a beach and he saw seagulls, of course, on the boardwalk, and he heard Livingston Seagull. And he was like, what? And he heard the voice say, tell the story of Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And he did. And it was, for a while, the #1 bestseller of the 1970s, along with Your Erroneous Zones by Wayne Dyer. Supposedly, people are channeling Wayne Dyer these days. Make of that what you will. Hulk says, but this is what I was telling sort of with Evan. Take your wisdom where you can find it, including from yourself, and don't doubt it. Has anyone read A Course in Love, which is supposed to be a companion piece for A Course in Miracles? And of course, course students are split between that, if it's true. I have it in the next room if anyone wants me to read from it sometime. Hulk says, I still feel it a little bit. Can't go full out. Wrapping my foot in an ice bandage and taking a leave is helping. How you do you ever ice it? Icing it down after workout might help too. Hey, Anna. Lee says, I have to go. I'll chat later. Thanks for hanging out, Lee. Very much appreciated. We got about 20 more minutes. We'll hang out. We'll see what's going on this afternoon. Any of our friends are alive. And again, it's the Cat and Yogi show this evening. Hey, Stitch. Stitch, Duncan was in last night looking for you. Was it last night? Or was it yesterday afternoon? Vlog says, all friends, nice to meet you at live stream. Thank you, Vlogs. I always appreciate you coming in and hanging out with us. Cat says, Stitchy. Stitch says, Cat, you live also? Hey, Michael. Michael says, hey there, Yogi. Sorry I'm late. I went live and then I had to take my dog out for a walk. How'd your live stream go, Michael? Sorry I missed it. Adam says, I did love Seth. I think I'm allergic to The Secret. Yeah, I loved Jonathan Good's The Seagull. So Rhonda Brines, I think that's her last name, who wrote The Secret, wrote a book that actually was pretty good. It might have been her last book, which has to do with non-duality, and it's different, quite different than The Secret itself. I was interested in her take of non-duality, how she arrived there from The Secret, because you go from manifesting cars and homes and jobs and partners, which of course is always egoic desires, right? I don't mean egoic in a bad way. I mean that those things are coming from ego, to non-duality, which is the complete absence of an ego. How do you manage that? Hey, Dan. Dan says, hey, Yogi. Dan, are you going live with Jace today? Kat says hi to Dan. Michael says, going well. I had a few technical issues, but I managed to pull it off, and I got to meet someone of whom I had known for a very long time. Awesome. Stitch says, it's so hard. What's the hard part for you, Stitch? The exercise or the diet or both? Kat says, there are some distractions between Esther Hicks and Rhonda. Care to elaborate? I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. Poor man says, Anna, thanks for support. And Anna says, you're most welcome, Dan. Man, anyone here who live streams, we should all give a big, big thanks to Anna. She's just a quiet, constant, loving support for so many people. When Anna's in a live stream, regardless of if it's mine or someone else's, It makes me smile because I know there's a loving presence there. Everything's going to be okay because there's a loving presence. And that's what you invoke with me, within me, and I'm willing to bet you do that for so many people. I'm sorry I missed you, Dan. Dan says we went on my channel, just did a dumbbell and some core. How's everything feeling? Stitch says not eating sweets. Now, are you um, replacing it with fruit, as Duncan suggested? Because once it won't take too long. Soon you'll start craving the fruit more than you're craving the sweets. I hope it starts getting easier for you, Stitch. I told Toy Pups what you were doing, and she is so extremely proud of you. Michael says, in spite of all the technical issues, it's already at 34 views and 12 likes. Awesome, Michael. You're building your audience for sure. Easy says, thank you. And Anna, friend, please, my cooking video watch. You're welcome, Anna. Anna, thank you. I just want you to know how appreciated you are. Adam says, yes, exactly. Desire brings suffering. Enjoyment is bliss. I remember first hearing that and the teachings of Buddhism, and I thought, why would anyone want to be a Buddhist? Man, telling me that life is suffering and life is suffering because of my desires. It's a lot of stuff I want, and I don't want to suffer because of it. But of course, I was suffering. Michael says, I meant to have it on subscribers only mode, but then Ivy told me, I saw Ivy went live, Rich and Ivy, and I missed that too. I feel bad now. Told me that it was on moderators only mode. I had to go through my phone and fix it. You got it done though. Just says, yeah, but it's still hard. It'll get easier and easier. Stitch says 4 days until you get your money. So Stitch, I appreciate what you're doing. And I love both you and Duncan for what you're doing. But make sure you are doing this for you. The fact that you're such a good friend is awesome, and I appreciate it. But we need to make this about you. Kat says, it does get easier when you break the sugar streak, especially when you're replacing it with fruit, because now you got that substitute. And whenever you get that craving, just keep reaching for that fruit. Make sure you stay hydrated, drink plenty of water. Anna says, yes, so I watch your videos, easy home cooking. Thank you, Anna. Easy says, oh, thank you, Anna, friend. Michael says, then I had a packed house of 14 people. Wow. Well done, Michael. Like I said, you're building your audience. And it says, much love to everyone. Appreciate all of you so much. As we appreciate you, Anna. Let's see. Adam says, you too, Anna. So, Adam, when did you know that A Course in Miracles was going to be something that you at least wanted to follow through with? When did you see it as valuable? And not just typical, the channel material that you thought. Michael says, I'm actually very comfortable being on panel now. And just wanted to say thank you, Yogi, for encouraging me to give it a try. Absolutely, Michael. I'm happy to count myself as an early supporter. And I'm in good company with Eric Lapointe and Rich and Ivy, Grumpy Sapper. Stitch says, I eat around 14 strawberries every day. Nice. What else? What other fruit do you eat, Stitch? Adam says, thank you, Adam. Bob says, recommend bananas for the fruit replacement. They are 58 cents here in Florida and quite filling. I agree with you. Getting more fiber helps as well. Yep. Add chia seeds to it. Even just a cup of water and 2 tablespoons of chia seeds adds a good amount of fiber. It's also very hydrating, not just the water, but the chia seeds themselves. A lot of ultra runners would use them after Born to Run, after the book Born to Run came out. Highly recommend the book, guys. Michael says apples are my favorite, but I'll eat any fruit except for mango. How come not mango? And honeydew. I love mango. Cat says my new lawn guy showed up with 3 guys, 3 trucks, and 3 mowers. Wow, they couldn't be happier. I told him how God sent it to me. Awesome, Cat. I know that was a lot for you. Man, working as much as you were and then being able as you are, and then finding the time to get out there and mow the lawn. There you go. Just not a fan of the taste. For some people with like certain fruits and vegetables, it's the texture more than the taste. Like they might like the taste of mangoes, but they don't like the texture. Just says apple, oranges, bananas, blueberries, watermelon, avocado, which is fruit, kiwi, and dragon fruit. Has anyone here ever had a durian before? Hey, Daisy. Daisy says hi, Yogi. Hi, Daisy. How are you, my friend? Our good friend Daisy May, who, as I mentioned before, in my opinion, is an emotional support channel. I know she certainly offers me emotional support. Such as hi to Daisy. Adam says, I told myself that if I came across anything that felt just plain wrong, I was out. Not wrong to me, but wrong to wholesale truth, kindness. So far, I'm guessing that you haven't. Monk says, no, but I had a dragon fruit before. One says, mango has a range of flavor like avocado. They develop more in flavor the riper, softer they get. Get away from Daisy. Stitch says, I did it in Connecticut. Did it stink? Durian is supposed to be the stinkiest fruit. I have a friend who won, he was in the Philippines, and he won a durian eating contest. Supposedly, I've never had one. If you can get past the smell, it's delicious. Cat says, hi, Kelly and Daisy May. CC says, great Yogi. The greater CC. How are you, CC? Jace said, hi. Hey, Jace. Jace, I'm sorry I missed you over at dance. Michael says, I agree, William. Daisy says, hi, Cat. Just stopped by your place for a quick like and hello. Michael says, yeah, I'm not a fan of avocado either. I guess that's why I don't like mango. I love avocados. It's amazing how some fruits can be fatty. You don't think of fruits as fatty, but mango is an excellent source of fat. Easy says, all friends, my cooking video, please watch my cooking video on my friend's channel named Grandma Lynn. Hey, Easy, could you drop a link for it? If you drop a link, I'll head right over after my live stream ends. Jace says hi to Daisy, sends some love. Dan says hi to Jace, sort of. Who says avocados are huge in fiber at roughly 13 grams, 330 calories with good fat, and are currently 97 each year. Um, yeah, I used to eat them for the fat content as well as calories. When you're ultra running and you're um, vegan and you're trying to get in quality calories, avocado and bananas are definitely your friends. Everyone's saying hi. Appreciate that. Anna says 30 likes. Thanks, guys. Jason's waving at Michael. Jason, you got any more sessions coming up? Well, I'm saying hi to everyone. So, William, we were talking with Adam about his travels through A Course in Miracles. Uh, you still working through it? Uncle says, "Oh, Yogi, Sunday evening at 4 Central at 3 p.m. Pacific, I'm having a narrator hangout live stream with myself, the paranormal poet, and Sam Hain, Campfire Chills. All right, at 4, 3 my time, or actually 4 your time, so that would be 5 my time. All right, Michael, when you're ready, don't forget to drop a link." Wife says, "So Dan." Uncle says, "Hey there, Jace." Dad says, "William, howdy." And William says, "I haven't in 2 days, but gradually." Like Jesus saying, still rolling that around in my head. For me, it was ego rebellion. Where it says, I was on lesson 21, I believe. Because sometimes I never made it past 21, or I made it past 12, or I made it past 6. It took a long time. For a long time, I read more books about the course, gaining a great understanding of it before I actually completed the text and the workbook. That might be a case with a lot of people. Reading Return to Love, Marianne Williamson, or Joe Javowski's Love is Letting Go of Fear. He originally wanted to title it God is Letting Go of Fear. But he, one, didn't think it would sell, didn't think it would reach people. And two, he was a long-time committed atheist who, even when he began studying the course, did not have any firm foundation of God. Easy says, "So going heart, friend." Michael says, "Well, do. I'm going to set up Saturday where I can email it to Nick and text it to Andy." Gotcha. I will do all that I can to make it, Michael. It's going to be so much fun. Just 3 great storytellers shooting the breeze. Roy says, "Oh, also what people say about potatoes is not entirely wrong. What do people say about potatoes? However, they are the cheapest vegetable to buy that yields the highest satiety ratings. And if you cook and fridge them overnight, you can break down some of the starch content to make it easier to eat and digest." I've never had any trouble digesting potatoes. If you ever follow, I don't remember his first name, Dr. McDougall, John McDougall, his entire diet was based on starch. He says, "Hi, Jay, sir." Hey, Lee, when's your next workout? Jay says, "Lee, bro." Jay, see you live later. Just says he was on Dance Channel today. Did 1 hour and 45 minutes. Satiety. Yeah, I thought about sounding it out, and then I lost interest. I took the easy way out. Easy home cooking says, okay. By our friend. Good night. Good night to you, my friend. Thank you for hanging out. And hey, easy, if you're still here, never hesitate dropping a link to anything that you want us to watch. He says, oh, well, JC intensity has turned up a notch. William's laughing. Just says, connect easy, as does William. We're going to talk for another 5, maybe 10 minutes or so. He says, sir. Hey, so what kind of stuff have you been doing, Lee? I'm going to go. I haven't decided if I want to go do a live stream because I'm going to go for a big PR. I'm going to go for the triathlon set, which is jerks, or I'm sorry, long cycle, jerks, and snatches. And for the first time, I'm going to try for 5 minutes across the board with the 18 kilograms. So it'll be 5 minutes of kettlebell long cycle. I get a 5 minute break. Then it's 5 minutes of kettlebell jerks, 5 minute break, and 2.5 minutes each side of single arm snatches. William says, now I'm craving potatoes. I have a potato every day. Let's mix in with the lentils and the brown rice. Adam says, I'm wondering if I'm trying to uncover a trauma deficiency, a blockage that's just not there. What makes you think that, Adam? Do you mean with your work in the course or in some other regard? I would say no to deficiency. Adam says, later taters. Hey, Stardashians. Eric is here. What's up, my friend? How are you? How's everything on your end? Congratulations on the 2K, by the way. Easy says, thank you all, friend. Very nice friends. We will definitely be nice friends. We will help you any way we can. Michael says, I'm also having a 31-minute relaxing horror music hangout, 2 p.m. this afternoon. That is coming right up. Oh, 2 p.m. your time. So that's a little under an hour. He says it is some light bench press work, some very light dumbbells. Still felt heavy. Back at my best, so throwing up the 45 dumbbells. Had the 10s today, felt like two concrete blocks. But it's a start, and we always celebrate a start. Uncle says, hey there, Eric. You get away from easy home cooking. Hey, Chill Sal. I was talking about you earlier at the beginning of the live stream. You up and running as I was live. And that was a big session for you. 3 hours. 903 subs, by the way. Absolutely awesome. I think that I saw our friend, The Grind with Nicole, is live. I know. I think she still needs some watch hours, guys. So if anyone could help with that, um, Verona Boy only needs 180 watch hours. If anyone wants to play his playlist, and right now our friend Trending is live. You can see if you can guess who she's drawing right now. That's what. Oh, Mike, MPP Fishing is live. So here's the deal. Let's wrap things up on my end. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. There's people out there who would absolutely love to see you in their live stream. Um, Mike being one of them. Mike's a good guy. All of the guys that I just mentioned, all of them are good guys. Joe says, "What's up, Yogi? Not much, man. You put in big work every day." He says, "If you're a poor man's gym, in order to have a good bench, you have to bench twice a week without fail." Dude, a lot could be said for that. Dan says, uh, "Lee funny. I'm trying to do light benches too." Jay says, "Had a great Thursday, one and all. May your day be filled with positive energy always. Off to get food." Thanks for coming in, Jace. Appreciate it. So that she says, "Sup, Sal." Everyone subscribe to everyone, guys. Adam says, "Lee, the one you feel they have nothing to do. Often floor me with the truth." I think it really helps to grain in the movement, doing it twice a week. I think as the weight gets heavier, you can reduce it to once a week, uh, depending on what your goal is. But once you're benching considerably over 200 pounds, as you start inching towards the 300 and above, it's going to take longer to recover. Joe says, "Thank you, Yogi. I had a great workout today." Michael says, "Yogi, guess what? I have currently written and narrated 43 episodes of Mysteries Untold." Awesome, Michael. Hey, let's do something big for when you hit 50. Should mark that an auspicious occasion. I love the word auspicious, by the way. He says, "Yogi, you was big. What do you feel about the bench press and tips to grow strong?" Bench press is a great exercise. Um, Never one of my favorites, but I got caught up in chasing after big numbers to the detriment of both my shoulders. One specifically blew out my left shoulder completely. Could not bench for over a year. Um, Oddly enough, I could do reverse benches and I could do incline benches, but I could not bench. Hey, Miss Flipper. Um, I think most people are better served doing overhead presses than they are bench pressing. Um, Man, bench became such an ego lift. Still, from the 1960s all the way to today, the question was always before the 1960s, it was how much could you put over your head? How much could you press? How much could you clean and jerk? Um, and after the bench got popular, it was how much someone knew you worked out or asked if you worked out. Man, hopefully they never had to ask because that meant you weren't doing it hard enough and it was a crushing blow to the ego. You got to ask. I can't look like I work out. We're still mostly on negative. I think for development, dips are better exercise. But even dips, we can get carried away. We start adding in weight, and it's not good for the shoulders. Shoulders is such a delicate muscle. Joe says 350 was my max bench press. It's a big bench. Brown says, I hope you're having a good day. I am. I hope you are too. We're just, we're going to wrap things up in just a few moments. Adam says, I'm perhaps a little too comfortable being lazy. I know there is power in intention, but that's something I'm lacking in. I think what it comes down to, Adam, is having a big why. Why am I doing it? What do I what do I want to accomplish? How much do I want this, whatever this might be? He says, Yogi, I bet your favorite was squats. I do love squats. Always have. You know what? When I was powerlifting, deadlifts was my favorite. When my when I got into Olympic weightlifting, clean and jerk. Always loved overhead pressing though. When I was a kid, we didn't have a bench. I had weights, but I didn't have a bench, so I did a lot of overhead pressing. Plus, I worked out with some old time lifters. This was in the 1970s. Um, so there was still a lot of Olympic lifters around, older Olympic lifters. He said squat and press overhead. All you need to do, squat and press overhead. Everything else is supplement training. Pro says hi to Lee. Says hi back. Is everyone here subscribed to Chill Style? We are emphasizing growing his channel, everyone's channel. But right now we have a very specific goal for Chill Style 1K. Lee says, oh, Adam says, I push isometrics on both my sons, and they're incredibly strong postal squats. I love isometrics. I'm actually one of the first workouts I ever did religiously. Probably no one here remembers it, although they still make it. The Bull Worker, advertised on TV, as seen on TV, and it was a like a chest crusher. Thinking about getting one. I'd love to add uh, that type of isometric work back into the mix. Pro says how to chill. Lee says, Adam, I love the Course Miracles, but I feel like a hypocrite because a lot of the course allows me to practice easily. To some others, not so. Nothing to matter with things being easy, Lee. Phil says, Yogi, appreciate you so much. Not a problem. Sal, I really believe in you and your channel and what you're doing. So for me, it's like the easiest thing to do to support you. I want to see you get as big channel wise as you want to be. Brian says, I had a bull worker. That's hard. It is hard. It's a tough little workout. Yeah, before I was in middle school, well, the first thing I ever did was calisthenics, old fashioned, toe touches, deep, they called them deep knee bends, push ups. The race director of the YMCA had me and a friend, and then we would go back and we would do trail running before we even knew it was such a thing. Hey, Timo. Timo says, hi, Eric. Hello, my friend. Sal says, Eric, you're awesome. Brother, everyone here is awesome. I agree with the second part. Everyone here is definitely awesome. Hey, speaking of awesome, Optimob, it's been a good friend for a while now. Uh, Guys, probably most people might be sub. You at 904, Sal. Awesome. Team is welcome with facts. Sal says, hi, Alpha family. Adam says, thanks, Island. You too. I'm glad I was able to stay on a little bit longer, actually, so you guys could make a few more connections. Make sure you guys reach out to Optimom family, a friend Timo. Sal says, thank you, Yogi. I do everything with a smile. That's what won me over, Sal. A lot of people, a lot of people have workout channels. A lot of people put in a lot of effort, but not everyone does it with a smile like you do. Timo says, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Timo. Always appreciate you, my friend. I always appreciate the Timo family, which, of course, is Timo, Sabine, and Bax, not in any specific order. I love Howard McKitty. Mary says, I just want to throw you some love. I'm going to Walmart to get Howard McKitty his birthday present. Happy birthday to Howard. Tell him I said happy birthday. Sal says hi to Mary. Timo says hi to Mary. Says blessing. I am blessed. That's for sure. You guys definitely bless me. So don't forget, this evening I'll be live with Kat and Jack, talking all things Course of Miracles. Sal says, happy birthday to Howard. Howard McKitty. Adam says, Lee, I'm a hypocrite in health advice. I know a lot about nutrition, exercise, and I treat my body like a cheap used car. Which, by the way, I'm considering a cheap used car. If anyone knows, is it worth buying a car that has over 200,000 miles on it when you're only going to be driving like very little? A couple to supermarket. I might go a little farther down the street to a bookstore, and I might occasionally do a 20-mile drive to go to a doctor's appointment. Supposed to have a dermatologist appointment once a year. I had skin cancer back in 2021, so I got to be very careful. Ireland says, if it's Japanese, car mileage isn't important. I was hoping to get a Subaru Outback. I heard, one, I love Subaru Outbacks. Two, I heard they have great uh, resale value. Shirley says, get a Toyota if you're going that direction. Toyotas are very dependable cars. Dependable is big for me. Stitch. For over 10 years, probably closer to 15. Hey, Heavenly Star, says Yogi Bear. How are you, Star? In my heart when you come in. You've been hanging out with us for so long. Awesome. Thank you, Shirley. Shirley says a Subaru is another one that lasts forever. So I have my eye on one on Facebook Market. I almost convinced myself to get an electric bike instead. A while back, Eric Lapointe and I talked about getting scooters and starting a scooter gang. We didn't want to get a motorcycle gang. We thought we would get scooters and terrorize small towns together. Instead of wearing cut off denim jackets or leather, we just wore hoodies. And by terrorize, I mean we would go and we would probably help people with their lawn care. Maybe walk the dogs for them, water the lawn, stuff like that. But being a gang, we have to call it terrorizing. I would get a Nissan SUV personally. I had a Subaru Outback, and I absolutely loved it. They double up as a camper van. Hey, that's a good idea because I have considered a camper van. Hey, Carl. Carl says, just came in to say hi. It's too loud here, so I can't hear you. Call me Mr. Diploma. Congratulations, Carl. I'm sorry, Mr. Diploma. Awesome. Man, I wish I could find something for 400. Seriously, I bought a Nissan for $400, driven over 100,000 miles. Wow. And I've never changed the oil. Man, you guys might have sold me on a Nissan. Let me look. Man, if I could find a car for $400, you know how happy that would make me? Nissan is underrated, in my opinion. Shirley says, Pro, I'd drive an Xterra. Love. So, Xterra, is that a brand or model? What do they call them nowadays? Right there tells you everything I don't know about cars. Heavenly Star says, I forgot to wear shoes today, and my foot got cut. Don't know what cut me now, but I got to stay off of it. Hey, are you? Did you put disinfectant on it? Keep an eye on it for sure. Adam says, I love my Subaru Outback, Yogi. My son totaled it and walked away fine. I still would have had mine, except it wouldn't pass the admissions test. I forget what it was that I needed. I think it was the flux capacitor in case I wanted to travel back in time. Um, and I couldn't afford it. It was actually worth more than the car probably. I had similar issues with my dad's car. Oh, it's a Nissan four-wheel drive. I definitely would like, if possible, to get a four-wheel drive. Per Island says there's a massive male population in Japan, so most vehicles are designed to turn into a living space. Huh, I never considered that. Pro's laughing. Joe says, I've never been in a Subaru. I'm glad you guys got the flux capacitor reference. Um, Subarus I love Subarus. The, I've only wanted two cars ever in my entire life. I really could have, I was never concerned. Per says Marty. Um, I thought it might be kind of cool to have a 1965 Mustang. I was born in 65. I saw a 67 Corvette Stingray, which was the first car that I ever saw that actually had muscle. I mean, you looked at it and you could tell why they call them muscle cars. But I didn't really particularly want one. I didn't particularly even really want a Mustang. I just thought it would be kind of cool. But I know I wouldn't have taken care of it the way it needs to be taken care of. I don't mind cars getting bumped or scratched or whatever. Cars were a mean of getting from point A to point B. I never thought that one would make me, you know, I never thought a car would help me get a girlfriend or any of that stuff. I always figured if I couldn't get a girlfriend on charm alone, they weren't worth getting. Which tells you why right now I'm single, by the way. Adam says, I love my Subaru so much, I actually changed the oil. Fine. The Subaru was the only car that I really, really wanted. And that was because of Crocodile Dundee in the 1990s doing commercials, Paul Hogan. Hey, Danny Barry, how are you? Happy Thursday to you. Her Island says American cars are great, but they wouldn't do well in Ireland. Just because of the roads? So right now there is, I'm going to broaden my and see what I can find. Because now, I was looking mainly for Subarus, but I'm going to add in Nissans. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Shirley, so much. I still occasionally think that I might be better off with an electric bike. I don't enjoy driving. It's never been a big thing for me. Pro Island says subbed and commented, Danny. Hey, Pro Island, you've helped so you're subscribing to someone, leaving a comment. I appreciate you. Josel says I had 3 jobs at one point. My grandfather would always say, "Oh, you have 3 jobs for each girlfriend." Yeah, it was easier back in my day. Do they still make Subaru Brat out there with the name on it, Yogi? I wouldn't mind a little Subaru Brat. He says, Eric, you can look at. Thanks for coming back, Jace. Uh, Nissan, Toyota, and Subaru. All the Japanese cars are built to last. Oh, I'm breaking up. Kat says, I just watched a short where I'm laughing. I'll tell you why. Um, where an electric bike battery blew up and started a house fire. Hey, Will, that's okay, Will. You're never late. Always enjoy it when you're here. The reason why I laughed was because, for whatever reason, I Googled um, something like "Are electric bikes worth it?" or something like that, and it talked about the battery blowing up. How, like, I was putting how much maintenance because I didn't want to get an electric bike and have to do a ton of maintenance because I'm not the best when that is concerned. And it talked about you have to be very careful, in particular with the battery. And now Cat comes in with that information, so that might convince me. Maybe I'll see if Eric Lapointe still wants to get scooters. I hope you're doing better today, Willow. Adam says, evidently, Cat China makes an electric car that doesn't burn your house down. However, you can't get them here. Hey, Skits. Skits says, sup, Yogi. Hope you're doing well, brother. I am, my friend. How's everyone? Shirley says it's something to consider. Insurance my Nissan was less because they're so safe. That's huge to consider. Thank you, Shirley. Man, you guys, so much information. Cat says no one mentioned my Honda. My dad's car that I inherited was a Honda, and I loved it. Willow says hi to Jace. Jace says hi to Willow and Skits. Skits says sup chat. Hope you're all well. I hope you're well, Skits. Just back with food. Xena is so happy. I bet. I bet you are too. Per Allen says sub and commented, Yoda. Cat says got you back, Pro. Awesome. Again, I'm really glad that you guys. What are you using as a webcam? Potato. Yeah, I don't know why it's like this. It's not normally. It's a good question. Northeast Stig. Hopefully, I can clear it up by the next live stream. That's my next technical question. How do I ungrain the image? Just remember, it's not about the presentation, it's about the content. Either way, that means I'm in trouble. I do want to fix this by the time I go live with Cat, though. It says, I'm okay, brother. Thanks. I have a lot of hectic thoughts at the moment, but hey, I'll let them pass. Hey, Skits, remember Rain. Rain. For Alan says, hey, Skits, how's the new phone? My day's been pretty good, Willow. Thank you for asking. All right. So let me wrap it up. Figure out what's going on with my phone, why it's doing this. VTEC engine Honda. Not sure what that's cool. Thanks for the photo. This is from our friend Willow. Poor guy. He lost his sister. Are you thinking about a companion? I know your heart might not be ready for one, but yeah, he really, you can tell he misses his sister. Kilsa says, restart phone, Yogi. If that doesn't work, try refreshing app. Gotcha. Jay says, wipe your camera lens, Eric. That's probably a big suggestion, too. Oh, I know what's causing it, but the solution's that's hard. What's the solution? And how do I refresh an app on a phone? Shirley says, sweet dreams, Jace. Jace says, thanks, Shirley. A fuzzy Yogi Bear. Yeah, it wasn't that way this morning. It just happened this afternoon. VTEC is a bulletproof engine. Gotcha. Will says, yes, I don't know. So the thing is, I'm going to do this weekend. If it's nice, let's try to bond the other three. Gotcha. Isn't accepting, so she doesn't accept him, and I will get him a friend. But first, I'm going to. I hope it works, Willa. Go to the settings, find the YouTube app, and should have some options for you. Thanks, Sal. I appreciate that. All right, with that, I'm going to wrap things up. I've got some things to do. I'll be back in just about 3 hours, thereabouts. And again, we're live with Cat and Jack. Always a good time. Always, Cat always makes it worth your while, guys. So I hope to see you. Love you guys. Well, it says same, but it's not fair on Benjamin because he's so sad, and it breaks me that he is sad. I'm sorry, Willow. I know it. I know it breaks your heart. Eric Point says another great live. Scooter Gang unite. Yep, we need to work on our Scooter Gang salute. Jay says Eric LP. Chol says see you later, Yogi. See you, Sal. Thanks for hanging out. Adam says I did love my old Honda. I'm gonna take your guys' advice. Shirley says LP. We need to talk about that. Duncan is here. $1 billion syndrome. Duncan Walsh says, we'll turn in later. Stitch okay? Stitch is okay. She says it's getting hard. Resisting, but she's determined. And she was just here. She says she's leaving to go do another one of your workouts. So, Duncan, awesome work. Awesome work, Duncan. Pearl says, thank you, Eric Yogi. You're welcome, Pearl. Thank all of you guys. Adam says, after a while, crocodiles. All right. Love you guys. I'll see you all in a little bit. Yep, Cat and Jack.